Welcome to our chat on improving relationships in just 24 hours. We're talking about taking small but effective steps that can really shift the vibe between you and your partner.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating how, with just a couple of simple intentional actions, you can truly turn the tide in your relationship. What do you think is the most striking point from this approach?
Well, one of the key things is the importance of cultivating a positive mindset. Humans naturally zero in on the negative, but the strategy here is to consciously notice and express even small positive things about your partner every day. It's like flipping the
hmm
script on what our minds are wired to do.
Right. It's like training your brain to prioritize love over criticism. But don't you think sometimes this might feel a bit superficial? I mean, just highlighting the small positives. What if there's deeper, unaddressed issues?
I get that. But here's the thing. While it might seem light at first, this positive reinforcement actually lays the groundwork for more meaningful conversations later on. These small affirmations accumulate and help counterbalance the inevitable negative moments.
Yeah, indeed. Sure, that makes sense. And then there's the whole bit about understanding emotional triggers and employing what they call the 24-hour rule. That idea of giving yourself time before reacting. It's almost like putting your emotions on pause, right?
Exactly. It's like, you hit the brakes when your emotional thermometer is off the charts. Instead of instantly reacting, you give yourself a full day to, cool off, reflect on what's really hurting you, and then approach the situation more calmly with your partner.
And that seems so essential because when emotions, especially deep-seated ones, flare up, they can often overshadow the core message of what you're trying to express. So giving that pause is crucial.
Right, and it dovetails into the next big theme, effective communication. It's not enough to just talk. Active listening, sharing your feelings clearly, and even practicing something called gentle startup play huge roles. You have to be both speaker and listener.
Yep, it's like a dance, isn't it? One partner leads with a feeling, and the other follows by really trying to understand that emotion without interrupting or, jumping to conclusions.
Absolutely, and when you unpack that further, the idea is to truly validate your partner's feelings. Summarize what you heard, check with them if you got it right, and just really show that you're listening.
That level of mindful communication seems like it could diffuse so many potential conflicts. But what about those times when even after all that, conflict still arises?
Great question, and that's where the conflict management techniques come into play. The notion of fighting fairly is all about keeping respect front and center. Criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. These are the big no-nos. Instead, the idea is to focus on our own feelings and needs.
Yeah, definitely. I like that focus on self-responsibility. It's a bit challenging, though, to continuously look inward instead of blaming, right?
It is challenging, and honestly, it's an ongoing process. But the task is to, for example, in a heated moment, talk about what you're feeling, rather than saying, you did this, or you never do that. This shift keeps the conversation from
Right.
escalating.
And speaking of shifts, the idea of building intimacy through small daily behaviors really caught my attention. Things like a 20-second hug or a brief kiss might seem minimal, but they actually trigger bonding hormones, like oxytocin, right?
Exactly, and it's kind of like a ripple effect. A little bit of physical affection each day builds that connection and trust over time. These gestures, even if they're subtle, remind your partner that you're, there for them.
That's brilliant, really. And then there's the part about understanding love languages. We often show love the way we were shown love, but if our partner's language is different, we could be missing the mark entirely.
Yeah, it's almost like speaking two different dialects without realizing it. If one person values physical touch while the other craves words of affirmation, it's essential to, tune into that difference. Asking your partner what makes them feel most loved is a game changer.
Yep. And sometimes, even when both partners are aware, they might need to step out of their comfort zones to fully engage with each other's love languages. That's definitely an interesting challenge.
It is, and it ties into effective conflict resolution too. When disagreements come up, understanding each other's needs, values, and even love languages can bridge gaps. It encourages negotiating differences with empathy, not hostility.
Right, exactly. Speaking of negotiating differences, it also seems like rebuilding trust is a continuous, everyday act. Little actions like helping out with chores or simply checking in with your partner show that you've got their back.
Absolutely. Imagine it like constructing a relationship house. Each small act is a brick laid down with care. Over time, these bricks create a solid foundation of trust and mutual care.
That analogy really hits home. And then there's the point about self-care. It's not just about the couple functioning, but also about each individual tending to their own mental and emotional well-being.
Right, yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. Dedicate a little time daily to doing something solely for yourself. It might be meditation, journaling, or simply a quiet moment of reflection.
Yeah, definitely. So if I'm getting this right, the overall recipe includes, first, boosting the positive mindset, second, taking time to manage emotional triggers, third, practicing effective and empathetic communication, and fourth, nurturing intimacy through tiny but powerful daily gestures, right?
Yep, that's it. And don't forget about conflict resolution, trust building, negotiating differences, and solid self-care routines. Each step feeds into the next, creating a holistic approach to relationship improvement, even within a very short span, like 24 hours.
Now, as much as these tasks sound incredibly beneficial, don't you think the real challenge is consistency? I mean, it's easy to do a couple of these in a day, but maintaining this long term must be a whole new ballgame.
You bring up a great point. Consistency is key. And while a 24-hour boost can kickstart positive change, sustaining these habits over time is what builds a lasting relationship. It's sort of like revving up your engine for
Right?
a long
It's like an
journey.
ongoing maintenance routine. Sure. And if couples make even one small adjustment daily, over time, it accumulates into significant improvements. But it's also important, as you said earlier, to be open to guidance if things get too tough, like reaching out to a professional or even using tools like the Gottman Relationship Advisor to steer you in the right direction.
Exactly, and that external support can be invaluable. It's like having a trusted co-pilot when navigating rough skies. The research-based tools and digital programs mentioned really ground all these techniques in something practical and achievable.
Also, I really appreciate how the approach emphasizes both the couple's dynamic and individual growth. It's a respectful balance, improving yourself while also nurturing the bond with your partner.
Yeah, it's such a comprehensive plan. By working on yourself, you naturally have more to give in the relationship. And even when a conflict arises, the focus is on understanding rather than blaming, making it a win-win.
Right, absolutely. As we wrap this up, it seems the key takeaway is that transforming a relationship doesn't always require sweeping changes. Instead, it comes down to small, consistent acts, like noticing the good, listening deeply, and caring intentionally, that together can really redefine your connection.
Exactly. It's like building a mosaic. Every positive moment, every thoughtful pause, every shared smile contributes to a beautiful picture over time. And honestly, starting with just one day can set in motion that transformative process.
I love that imagery. It suggests even if you start small, you can create something truly magnificent. This conversation has given me a lot to think about in terms of my own relationship habits.
That's the magic of these tips. They're simple but intentional. Whether it's giving a quick hug, pausing to understand your feelings, or simply asking your partner what they need, every
Right,
action
exactly.
counts.
Definitely. And thanks for the deep dive today. It really shows how everyday acts can lead to significant, lasting change in a relationship.
Totally, it's been awesome discussing this with you. Remember, if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, start with one small step. In just 24 hours, you might just set the stage for a lifetime of love.
For sure. Cheers to that. And here's to all the little actions that build big, beautiful bonds.